Hey guys, welcome back to the Connoisseur Reviews. I hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas and holiday, whatever you celebrate, and hopefully you guys had a good time with your family and friends. I did, and I wanted to do this video before Christmas, but I got really busy with the holidays. But it's been about a week since Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker came out and finished off this new modern day trilogy, and kind of put an end to the Skywalker saga of films. And Mandalorian final episode drops today too, so I thought this was a pretty good day to do a list video of my favorite Star Wars movie, ranking them from my least favorite to my most favorites. And this is a very subjective list, so please bear with me. I know your list will be different from my list, and it's just an opinion. At the end of the day, we're all Star Wars fans, we're all film fans, so let's just be respectful and let's get started with the list. And before I get into it, put your own ranking in the comments below, guys. All right, let's get started. My least favorite of the Star Wars main series movies is Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I feel like this movie isn't a bad movie, but it is a mess. It is mostly boring than anything. It just drags out. It kind of changes the lore of Star Wars. Like, you know, you have to be born a special species or have a special DNA in order to be a Jedi, which kind of ruined it for a lot of people that thought anyone could be a Jedi. And aside from the pod racing and the Darth Maul stuff, this movie was just boring. It was just, it wasn't very good. The acting was kind of dull. We got the introduction to Jar Jar. It was just kind of meh. My next least favorite is going to be Attack of the Clones. And it suffers from the same reasons. It is a little bit better, but not by much. The final scene is really cool. The battle with Count Dooku and Yoda is pretty awesome. But other than that, this movie is just dull. It does explain how stormtroopers kind of came to be, but at the same time, it also kind of diminishes the strength of the Empire, because it's like they didn't really influence anyone to join their group. They kind of had this army that was pre-programmed, and that's how they conquered the world. So it's kind of like, but that's neither here nor there. My next favorite or least favorite is going to be Rise of Skywalker. I think this is the weakest of the trilogy. I have my review up for it. You guys can check it out. But I was not impressed with it. It changed a lot of the stuff that The Last Jedi started. It concluded this movie in a way that was not very satisfying. I mean, it was satisfying, but at the same time, it was just a mess. The more you think about it, how much backtracking they had to do, how much stretching of the our belief we had to, our suspension of disbelief. It was just kind of ridiculous, and it showed that there was no clear vision into the path that they were going. It was a lot of backtracking, and I had fun with the movie. It is a fun movie, but at the same time, it's a messy movie. It's very, very messy, but whatever. And then this next 3 films are kind of in the same boat. One day I might like this one more, one day I might like the other ones more. But these next 3, from ranking 6, 5, and 4, they can go in any way, but today this is how it feels, depending on how I just watched them all. I'm going to put at number 6, The Last Jedi. I really like The Last Jedi. I thought it was good. Yes, it has some weird tonal issues, and it kind of changes it up from what The Force Awakens started, but I felt like it very much brought back what it meant to be a Jedi. Like, anyone can be a Jedi. You don't have to be born special. You can be a Jedi. You can come from anything and become a Jedi if you train hard enough, if you believe hard enough. And that's what I liked about it. The humor was kind of funny. Yes, a little bit off-putting. The roast stuff, yeah, it felt kind of tacked on, but I thought it was fun. And you get that really epic moment with Luke at the end. So it went a lot of ways. It subverted a lot of what meant to be Star Wars, and was kind of progressing Star Wars a little bit beyond what its own shells were. And for some people it succeeded, and some people it didn't. I personally enjoyed it a lot. The next one is going to be The Force Awakens. Again, this one felt very much like A New Hope Part 2 or A New Hope Redux. It very much followed the same storyline, but the new characters we got were great. I liked Rey, I liked Finn, I liked Poe. BB-8 is adorable. I liked the world and music of John Williams. I mean, the whole series has great music from John Williams. But this one felt like a retread, yes, but there's nothing wrong with it. It kind of set up what we were going into with this new series. Unfortunately, those plans didn't really pan out. It didn't really go anywhere. It felt like it left it open-ended to a lot of interpretation. But then they had to retread it back with the Rise of Skywalker. It was, but this movie stands on its own. It's a fun Star Wars movie. Number 4 is going to be Return of the Jedi. I like Return of the Jedi. It gives us a happy ending. There's a whole redemption of Darth Vader. The Palpatine stuff is great. Luke coming back as a Jedi Master. Yes, the Ewoks are a little silly, but I think they're adorable. And there's a lot to like about it. It gives us a great, satisfying conclusion to the series. I liked it. I very much enjoy that one. Number 3 is going to be A New Hope. I think this started the Star Wars series. It started off with a bang. You get Luke coming from nothing, discovering what it means to be a Jedi. You get a little bit of lore. You get Obi-Wan as this awesome mentor. And, you get so many iconic moments, iconic scenes. It just started off everything perfectly. Darth Vader was introduced awesomely. What else? There's so much praise about this movie. It's just a great movie overall. First and foremost, it sets up the world, it sets up the lore, it sets up the mystery so well and so perfectly. It was so good that they had to do it twice. But yeah, A New Hope is great. It's my 3rd favorite. Number 2 is gonna be Empire Strikes Back. I think Empire is a perfect Star Wars movie. It's a perfect way to go from A New Hope into this series. We got the most iconic plot twist of all time. Spoiler alert, Darth Vader is Luke's dad. You got this sad ending, but a very hopeful ending. You got training with Yoda. You got all this stuff. It was just great stuff. Great music, great character moments. A lot of the characters developed beyond this movie, and it really set up for the next final conclusion in a very bleak way. Up until this point, it was probably the darkest Star Wars movie, and it's great. It's great stuff. Great battles. You got Luke losing his hand, all that stuff. It's a perfect Star Wars movie. And my favorite is gonna be Revenge of the Sith, guys. I think Revenge of the Sith is the perfect Star Wars movie. It caps off Anakin's storyline, how he goes to the dark side. Yes, the acting is kind of cringy, but who cares? The story itself is really good. The music, the battles, I think it has the best Star Wars battles we've ever had. The iconic battles with Obi-Wan and General Grievous. We have great battles with Palpatine and Windu, Yoda and Palpatine. We had Anakin and Obi-Wan, which is still high ground. Come on, it's great. Everything about this movie is just pure fun Star Wars action and great storytelling. It's the darkest Star Wars movie, but it concludes off the prequel trilogy on such a high note that it kind of elevates them to another, kind of elevates them well. And then it sets up everything going forward for New Hope and the rest of the Star Wars movies perfectly, and it does it so well and so naturally. I love Revenge of the Sith. It's my favorite, and that concludes my list. So let's go over it real quick. My least favorite is The Phantom Menace, then it's Attack of the Clones, followed by Rise of Skywalker, The Last Jedi, Force Awakens, Return of the Jedi, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and my favorite is Revenge of the Sith. Now, let me know what your guys' rankings are and what you guys' thoughts are on the Star Wars movies. Did you like the new trilogy? Overall, I think I like the new trilogies, but they left more to be desired. They are stronger movies than the prequel trilogies. It's just, they're not very consistent, unfortunately. I think the strongest trilogy is still the first trilogy, but I think the best movie is Revenge of the Sith. So, Star Wars is a bunch of mixed bag, but it's great, fun, entertaining films that inspire generations and generations of people, and each generation got at least one good Star Wars movie. But there you go, that's my list, guys. Let me know what your guys' lists are in the comments below, and as always, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and you can follow me on my various social media sites at AwesomeRLK or on my Tumblr at the Connoisseur Reviews. Alright guys, Gucci.